John and Josh, y'all were the winner for this week. So I'm thinking for the new rules of Shit Show Showdown that we choose 2 people each week, and then they choose a single movie, and those are the 2 movies. So you guys were this week, and I'm thinking Rachel and I will be next week, and then we'll kind of flip-flop and flip-flop and flip-flop. So that sounds pretty good to me.
That sounds good.
Yeah,
that'll be cool. Yeah.
What's up, guys? I'm James, and here we're discussing Shit Show Showdown here on Cinema Shat.
Late night edition. Hot singles are waiting for you to talk about bad movies.
What's happening?
Just take it in.
Yeah.
Take in the bad.
What?
Unlike last week where we uploaded a late night, this one we're recording late night.
What are you
getting? It spicy,
sexy.
What are you talking about?
Saucy.
What do you?
Thank you for that, John.
What was that?
That was and the artist
That is George fucking Michael.
George. Wait, his middle name was fucking?
Yes.
What's
George
up, guys?
Michael.
I'm James here on Cinema Shat, your podcast brought to you every Thursday where we talk about Shit Show Showdown and the shit show that is our lives and literally anything else. I'm joined in the studio with
John.
Yeah, and I'm Josh.
And we've also got our producer Rachel scurrying about. She's got a whole bunch of faxes. We've printing out stuff and information.
Yeah, why do you still have all those fax machines? This guy has like 14 fax machines in the back room there.
Okay.
Wow.
I got them at a great deal.
That's
Who buys 14 though at a great deal?
That's outdated technology, James. by 20 years.
I can respect buying in bulk though.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So our 2 movies tonight. Josh, you were the first winner for Shit Show Showdown.
That's right. Yeah.
And you chose Black Cobra, starring Fred McGrath and Brad
the Hammer.
I love Fred McGrath.
Fred the Hammer Williamson.
That is correct, Fred the Hammer Williamson. And John, you won our second pick for Shit Show Showdown, and that is Red Planet, starring Val Kilmer.
Val the Hammer Kilmer.
Okay, so who wants to start us off? Because I want to do something a little different with the podcast. I want us to try to not hurry through them because I want us to flesh it out and be able to laugh, and everybody else like listening in gets an idea of what we're talking about.
I mean, I would prefer we hurried.
Let's hurry
I have
up.
Shit to do.
Thank you guys. This was a great podcast.
Yeah, let's just call it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, great show. Thanks for listening, everybody.
We're just leaving.
James, this is a bit.
I'm sorry.
James
a bit
is
too much
leaving.
is what you're saying? I went a bit too much?
James is actually leaving. Okay, anyway.
So let's jump into Black Cobra. Now this I have a lot of fucking notes for, which means, which is, I think, reflects positively on the film. Okay.
Yeah, I'd say it does.
So, Josh, as the only movie we got of the night that had a coherent plot, summarize it for us.
Yeah, so first off, what you just said, that's surprising, right?
Yeah, I was not expecting that.
What year was this?
This was 1987, the year I was
87.
born.
Okay, so basically it's Fred Williamson.
Fred the Hammer Williamson.
Oh, excuse me, Fred the Hammer Williamson. What the fuck was that movie, Charles Brown? Death Wish with Fred.
Death Wish.
Fred Williamson.
Oh, we watched.
That's all this was.
That was 4, right? Death Wish 4. We watched.
We haven't watched any Death Wishes.
We watched
just
Messenger of Death.
Messenger of Death.
But yeah, Bronson was in Death Wish.
Completely different thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't kill anyone in that whole
fucking
fucking
movie. Go into a Bronson movie and he's
but-
a reporter and doesn't shoot anybody. What the fuck?
But yeah, anyway, so
except for that poor open casket.
So basically the plot for Black Cobra. First off, I thought it was going to be blaxploitation.
I agree. I'm glad you jumped into that.
So cuz I like blaxploitation.
Yeah, blaxploitation is
legitimately,
definitely entertaining.
There's some really good titles, blaxploitation, but this one, it was an Italian film.
Yes.
It was an Italian ripoff of, action movies, as they do. But okay, the plot. So there's this biker gang, and their attitudes are not ideal.
Yeah,
they're a little rude. They're on the rude side.
There's some no good.
The leader of the biker gang is Italian Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah,
John liked that one.
I forgot what I called him during the movie. Anyway,
you did call him. It'll come to us.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's stupid. So there's this biker gang, and they attack this couple at the beach very clumsily. They
It's a little
Okay.
rape and murder.
yeah.
Murder the
standard
boy,
rape and
murder the guy.
And
murder the guy
I'm sorry,
by
I'm
running
jumping
him over with a truck while he is windsurfing.
you might be wondering how,
I was just surprised
But-
that I called that. I was like, oh, he's just gonna run him over.
but you were joking because you can't
Absolute-
drive on water.
You can't drive
right?
on water.
Yeah,
but
as we know,
somehow the
yeah.
windsurfer just showed up on the beach and was getting run over.
He decided to go in at that moment. So, and so the actual plot is Black Cobra is a no nonsense rogue cop who doesn't follow orders, but he gets things done. You know,
He's a loose
And this
cannon.
is
He's a loose
established
cannon.
immediately.
Exactly.
Cannon.
This is
We can't
established
trust you
immediately
anymore.
when the chief is like, all right, we need you to go in there and be our hostage negotiator.
Right. Yeah.
Give them everything they want and just that's all.
Yeah.
And,
Exactly.
and he's like, okay, I could give them everything they want, or shotgun, gun.
Yeah.
yeah.
The
So
shotgun was amazing.
he disobeys direct orders and just decides to blast everybody, and but he gets it done. You know, so you can't fault him. He's a good shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. But okay, so he
Gets
does
the
this.
job
They
done. He
establish
gets
him as a
results.
exactly. They establish him as a badass, and then this woman.
Which he is.
He
Like
truly
the
is.
second he shoots that shotgun. Sorry, I don't want to derail this.
That's fine.
Too soon. When he shoots that shotgun from the hip, one-handed,
Yeah.
and blasts that
Right.
motherfucker into the pool, we were like, "Gah!"
Yeah, that was cool.
We were
yeah.
cheering. Okay, good.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Um,
I just wanted to point out he is badass.
no, totally. No,
Yeah,
he's
no.
brilliant. But so there's the love interest, and she gets attacked by this biker gang, right? And then
Oh god.
and he won to get revenge, but also stop their tyrannical parade through the city of I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. But
Macy's
what is it called?
tyrannical-
Rampage. That's what it's
Rampage.
called.
Perfect.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
got it.
Unsubscribed. Rampage
initiated.
Oh my God, get the word right. So to stop their rampage, he decides to take him out, and at the same time getting revenge for the girl, and falling in love.
Of course.
So that's
Sorry,
so
your
it's,
face. And falling in love.
Fred
Made in
Williamson don't
Manhattan.
fall
Falling
in
in
love.
love.
So it's your run-of-the-mill action plot, revenge story. So, but let's go back to the pool scene. The pool scene.
The opening scene.
Yeah, there's a bunch of dudes in balaclava,
They're wearing
ski mask,
they're wearing baklavas
baklavas
on their
and,
face. The traditional pastry.
right, exactly. First off, my first question is, why are they holding these people as ransom?
At a YMCA?
Yeah, these people are
No,
swimmers.
it's because it was at a YMCA and they could shoot there. We need 4 extras.
Okay, I mean James is right, but in the
story.
why?
I think it was just to show how
Yeah,
badass.
Yeah, they
like,
just wanted to show how badass
we need to see
he was.
he's
They
a
didn't
dirty Harry.
care.
You know, we need to see he's
So it
no,
didn't-
no
it didn't matter.
rules. Yeah, it didn't.
That's true, but
We'll come back to it. But speaking of
It's
Dirty
literally what
Harry-
Red Planet should have done in its first 15, 30 minutes. But we'll get to
how
that
much
later.
money were they expecting to get from these swimmers?
$2
They
million.
didn't even have pockets. So go in the locker room, get your money.
They demanded $2 million in unmarked bills, and like a limousine to take them to a plane.
Did they ask for a limo?
I'm pretty sure they asked for a limo because I
That's-
remember it being like,
well-
why are they asking for a fucking limo?
They wanted to go out in style. So
Yeah.
who cares? Let's just get a limo. But so their plan was to get it from the police,
Yeah.
which is already a no-sum game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The police have no money. That's why they're robbing its citizens.
Also, you're
That's
you're
a
just
satire
holding
on
up
real
3
life.
people at the Y.
Just explain it like
But like you were saying, like you're just holding up 3 people at the Y. It's like not like any of them have any sort of value.
Yeah, like-
it's like I'm Steve. I make $43K a year.
yeah, like
Yeah, I
what the fuck was their plan? What was their plan?
They
Dude.
didn't have one.
That was
have
so
They just wanted-
retarded.
They just
Didn't have
wanted to. It's like they were a bunch of 12-year-olds, and they're like, "Dude, okay, we just gotta hold people up, and then we'll get a ride in a limo,
Yeah,
and then we'll
yeah.
get millions of dollars, and then we'll fly in this badass plane.
Yeah, it sounds like kids wrote the first, like, the opening scene. They were like,
yeah, and then there's some bad guys, and then Mr. Cobra comes in and...
Wait, slow down. Let me get all this.
slow the fuck down, kid.
Yeah.
There's like IVs in his arms, and they're just extracting children magic, which is just like...
The writer was just at the Italian equivalent of a Chuck E. Cheese for like his son's birthday party.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, this kid's a fucking genius. Keep going.
Yeah.
You're gonna be big, kid.
All right, so we touched on that it is blaxploitation, or actually a mirror of what we thought was going to be blaxploitation, and that's because it's a Italian production. And did I say that it's called Cobra Nero? That's the
Italian name.
Yeah,
right?
that's the Italian one.
Cobra Nero.
Well, the reason
Nero, the
call
word
it Cobra
black in
Nero.
Italian.
I think so.
What did you say?
I'm gonna call it Cobra Nero.
Cobra Nero.
Nero.
Yeah,
Nero,
so he
you say potato, I say tomato.
Fair enough. Well, what I was touching on is that we wanted to play a drinking game because we knew that it was going to be great. We were like, oh, this is blaxploitation. This is awesome. There's going to be so many tropes, and there were a lot of tropes that kind of did not deliver, and it was because it was an Italian production. In one of those, I thought they were going to use the word bitch. Like, he would be like, bitch, shut up. And I'm not trying to sound stereotypical,
it's legitimately
but
a good call.
That's part of blaxploitation culture is like, big guns, and you got this big black guy, and he's saying tough things, and no woman ever brings him down or can melt his heart, except for the one.
Yeah, and not all the protagonists in blaxploitation are misogynistic, but a lot of them are.
But even though they didn't use the word bitch, which is degrading to women for a man to say, in a movie like this. Instead, they just went with one-liners where he just emotionally berates them. And I have two quotes that killed us. Okay, so the first one is, he just saved the girl that he's already saved. She's in the hospital, and the biker gang is coming to kill her again. And instead of her getting out of her bed and trying to run away, she's just on the edge of it screaming for help as the attacker's going to kill her. And then Black Cobra steps in, boom, shoots him in the back, kills him. And she keeps wailing and screaming, and he's like, "Lady, cool it with all that noise." It's like she is horrifically traumatized. She's been people have tried to murder her twice today, twice.
Yeah.
Of course she's hysterical, and he's just like,
he's not
"Lady,
having
cool
any
it
of
with
that.
all that noise."
Yeah.
But he says it's so cool, like that's
legitimately cool.
Yeah, it's hilarious too.
Fun
Yes,
fact,
John.
that was actually improv. Fred Williamson has just grown up with violence his entire life, to the point where, like, he was 2, he caught his first body when he was 2. He saw his first murder when he was 6 months old, but he caught his first body when he was 2. For the folks at home who don't know what catch a body means, that means he killed a person.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's on that Florida talk.
Holy smokes!
He's on that Florida slang lingo.
That is so surprising.
And then another quote that he had that we died out laughing, and that was hold on. Oh, here it is. If you have to open your mouth, do it for the food I give you. Because she was talking to him.
She was like, "Hey, how's it going? How was your day?"
If you gotta open that mouth, you better do it when there's food in it. But we ain't gonna say bitch at the end of it.
It's because he was looking at photos of his, like, previously established
His cat.
foster father, I think, which was very vaguely, very little minimally touched on, but at least it was established. Looking at you, Red Planet.
Right, exactly.
No.
In every single one of these movies, and I do mean every single one of these movies, the protagonist has a family that died.
Yeah.
In a variety of different ways. So I think that's what they were doing.
Yeah.
And then
that's what they're trying to do.
And then
he,
he told her not to talk unless she's eating. So
I got this food for you.
yeah, he prepared a meal for her.
He wanted her to basically shut up. So he brought her over to cook for her so she couldn't talk.
Yeah, it's great.
He's like the polite kidnapper. I'm not going to gag you, but I'm just going to keep feeding you so you don't talk or scream.
Yeah.
I'm going to sew your asshole shut. You keep feeding you and feeding you and feeding you.
Okay, one thing I really loved,
Copyright
and
Wu-Tang Clan.
we all loved, and this
shout
touches...
Shout out to the Wu-Tang Clan.
Shout out Wu-Tang.
162.
Shout out musical guest Wu-Tang
Welcome to the
Clan.
House of Flying Daggers.
Dude, I got a killer Wu-Tang shirt that I bought from
I saw
Spencer's.
That shit was dope.
Yeah, Spencer. Shout out to Spencer's, our sponsor this week. only you can supply, dildos for men and women.
That's true.
And lingerie and all sorts of sexy things.
Only you can help me start these forest fires.
Spencer's. Thanks.
Also, just
Spencer's.
I just want to clarify.
Maybe not
even
bring
though
your
there's
kids
only
in.
like a few people that listen, anyways. I do want to clarify that particularly was a joke because there sometimes are forest fires out in this state.
Yeah. So jokes aside, fire safety, motherfuckers.
Spencer's. When Zoomies is closed. All right, let's move on.
Okay, so one thing we all in our
Thanks, John. I appreciate that.
The great violence, and this touches on the fact that Cobra has he surprises us 3 times with guns, and I've written all 3 surprises down, but this coincides with great violence and
Tricked you, Baron.
Tricked you, Baron. Lots of car chases. I mean, okay, that one truck that has flames on it has like 4 people in the back cab standing in this truck, and they are doing like 60 miles an hour down these fucking roads. In that corner, you could see that the driver was probably having to like tap the brakes and barely turn. Otherwise, it would have been too sharp, and those motherfuckers would have been dead. The cars were driving fast everywhere.
I missed that scene when they were all in the Jeep Cherokee. Anywho.
So, sorry. Well, Cobra had a whole bunch of tricks, and the speeding cars has to deal with it because of the third one. So the first one, we get a surprise shotgun that blasts the guy away, the terrorist away in the pool, right? And then he's at his pad, his spread, his house, his edifice, and he opens up like some little compartment, and underneath it is surprise, a gun. And Rachel called this. She was like, anytime there's a surprise gun. So we kind of drank every time there was a surprise gun. And I was like, well, they've already done a 1-2 bit. We're going to get one at the very end. And sure enough, we did. And this is the point where Black Cobra has had a fucking enough. He has had enough of everyone's bullshit. And they come blaring in to kill the gang members in, I don't know, what is this, a 1981 Honda? Right, John?
It was a station wagon.
It was like a little Pinto thing. It was flying. It's flying through this like construction site. And we're like, what the fuck is this car doing? We don't even know who the driver is. Wait, no, it's his partner, right?
Yeah,
the partner that gives a little bit of backstory as to why Cobra's such a great police officer.
His daughter.
Yeah,
that's why they're going there. I think is to get her back because they kidnapped the partner's daughter by jumping on the car when it gets to an overpass.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
She's driving with her dad, which we thought they were a couple.
Yeah.
But they're not. And
well,
they
it's
get
Italian, so it makes sense.
Right, exactly.
Are they a couple? Are they? Oh, that's a pet.
Yeah, apparently in Italy, everyone's a supermodel. Apparently, according to these movies. So they're driving with her dad.
Italian Schwarzenegger. No, not. Excuse me. I was commenting on.
What?
Never mind. Continue.
What the fuck? Just kidding.
Oh God, he's stabbing me! Stop stabbing me! Ow!
It's okay. You can't hear it on the podcast.
You and I are through professionally.
Twist the knife. Twist that knife. Twist that knife.
But you were saying.
And how was it?
So, so they get hijacked by the biker gang. Who they needed a Jeep. So they're not on their bikes this time. They pull up in their Jeep Cherokee, and man, they rough that guy up. They hit him in the face.
They punch him a couple times.
Can't really remember what they anyway, they take his daughter and they tell him, what do they say? Meet us at the final scene in the movie.
Yeah,
and
meet us
at get her back.
Meet us at end of the movie or dead.
Right. Yeah.
But essentially, and so they come barreling in this little fucking '83 Nissan. I don't know what the.
Are you talking about the end now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
He comes, just to bring it back to the surprise gun.
Technically, it wouldn't be Nissan because if it was in the 80s, it would be a Datsun.
Well, it was probably a Datsun.
Mm-hmm.
So this Datsun comes
that is completely correct.
Blaring around, and it does like this 180 where it fishtails the entire back end of the car, and we're all like, what the fuck? And then Black Cobra, without missing a mark, pops the trunk, and then Uzi sprays the entire gang, and it was so fucking
great.
cool.
It was
It was
great.
as watching the shotgun blast from the first scene. It was like the equivalent to watching that again.
Yeah, man.
Such a great surprise. Such a payoff with the 1, 2, 3
Yeah.
punch as far as, like setting up things and paying them off in the end.
Yeah.
I mean, when he didn't even like. We joked about it. I was like, he could have just popped the trunk and just been shooting, but not facing the right direction.
He could have stopped at Best Buy really quick, and he just like pops open.
You just
All of
slaughtered
Target is getting
15
mowed
people.
down.
Innocent civilians and bystanders.
Yeah.
Limbs as far as the eye can see.
But it was fucking awesome. It was so awesome to see that fucking Uzi just railing
It was brilliant.
bullets
Yeah.
everywhere. Just
Yeah.
Usually when we watch an action movie, we're disappointed.
yeah, because the
So-
action is few and far between.
Yeah, that
but
actually had some good action.
It
had-
Followed up with the Call of Duty knife throw to the back.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah, to
right,
Italian
yeah.
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, to
And
Italian
we were like, he's not
Schwarzenegger.
dead. Shoot that motherfucker in the water.
Yeah, he
And of
throws
cour-
a knife at him, and it hits him in the back, and he falls into the lake.
Yeah.
And
And,
then-
of course, he doesn't shoot him because then how else would you have the warehouse car showdown?
Oh my god, I forgot about that. Yeah.
For all the good action that movie had,
Yeah.
So
the warehouse car showdown was not it.
oh, shit,
so
my
the,
bad.
the lead up to that, right? So he throws the knife, doesn't do a one-liner, which totally sucked.
Yeah, he
And then-
completely wasted opportunity.
yeah. What was my one-liner? Dead motherfuckers float.
Yeah, it's
Because
good.
he's just
yeah.
floating in the water.
Come on, that would have been great.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? So the main bad guy, of course he's not dead. Let's be real here.
Yeah.
And he dresses up like Mr.
my
Rogers, and then shows up.
He does a full
He
born
dyes his
identity
hair.
change.
And then they've been calling back to this tooth thing cause
Where
he
he's got a silver tooth,
Yeah,
yeah.
because she took a picture of him initially, and that's what led to this whole culmination
Right.
of why they wanted
Yeah.
to kill her. But
But
it was-
right, they took a picture of
you couldn't
the,
see his face.
you couldn't see his face, but you could see a silver tooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they keep alluding to this silver tooth, and then he just notices that it's him without any scene of the mouth at all. It's just he sees his eyes and he's like, "Oh, it's that guy."
Yeah.
I think he was flashing the tooth.
But he was like
It was
behind a
poorly
plan.
done, though,
Yeah, it was
so
so poorly done. Like all you have to do is just have it like have him peek out and then have Williamson look at him and then have fucking a close up of his mouth and show him smile for a second and show the tooth.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking simple.
Make it obvious.
Yeah.
Cut to a close up of the tooth,
just
which
fucking
they didn't
just
do.
show him smiling and Williamson notices the tooth.
And that's
Yeah.
what's
Fucking easy.
confusing because Black Cobra throws a knife at him. So
Mm-hmm.
he's already technically had his showdown, that's in quotes, with
Yeah.
the main bad guy.
Right.
So wouldn't he know what he looks like? Even though he had his back to him. They shouldn't interact until the last scene.
Well, the whole thing is that after he survives the knife being thrown in his back, we're talking about Italian Schwarzenegger. When he attacks him and then gets killed, and the knife's in his back and he's floating around, and they miss the one-liner mark.
Right.
He decides to change his identity. So
He doesn't
Italian
get killed.
And then he
Schwarzenegger
becomes
changes his hair blonde.
Jason
Right.
Bourne.
He puts on like Mr. Rogers fucking clothes. So
For real.
he's like the Mr. Rogers Terminator version. It's Terminator
Right.
version of Mr. Rogers or some shit. It looks weird. And so he immediately follows Black Cobra on his dinner date with our damsel in distress, only to reveal there in the restaurant, he's like, "I'm still alive." Well, why
Right.
would you change your identity? Nobody in the fucking restaurant
doesn't
knows
matter.
who you are.
Right.
Nobody cares. All you have to do is just go in there, get a table. Yes, yeah, a table for one, please. Yes, I'm
Yeah.
just going to sit here and look menacing. Okay, thanks.
And
if you could bring some of that bread, Italian bread. And he's like, I'm just going to stare at him. No, he decides to go to fucking Abercrombie and Fitch and fucking change his clothes to sit in a restaurant and go, I'm still alive.
Right. And Black Cobra doesn't know what he looks like. Remember? Because
Yeah,
he threw a knife at his
Threw a knife
back.
in his and every time
Not
he'd
his-
seen him, it was just his sunglasses and.
Right. Yeah, he doesn't know what he looks like. The reason they did him getting a disguise, yeah, they just fucked it up. They wanted him to have a disguise so that he'd recognize the tooth.
They just should have ended the fucking movie after the knife throw.
yeah.
Like, just
I mean,
say
yeah.
your one-liner. Glorious credit scene.
Now
Yeah,
the scene
but
in
then
the restaurant.
we wouldn't get the trunk Uzi shoot. We wouldn't get the.
Oh no, that
no,
was
I'm saying after that.
Yeah, he's saying
Like,
after that.
the trunk Uzi shoot
Oh,
is
yeah,
the
that was
ultimate
the knife.
climax,
Yeah.
and then the knife throw is to finish it off.
Oh, they have some stupid
Like,
fist fight in the
yeah.
fucking parking
And
garage.
no,
See,
not only the dumb fist fight. Before that, they have a ridiculous car chase inside of the fucking warehouse for no
that the
reason
gang hangs out in,
whatsoever.
Yeah. So you're Italian. You have no money. How are you going to do your car chase scene in a warehouse?
That's abandoned.
So
All the windows have been knocked out with rocks.
So it's hard to explain how dumb this is, but let me just repeat myself. They're having a chase
car
in a
chase.
location. They're not going from A to B. They're at A,
It's a fucking
they're chasing
square.
each other.
They're in a square.
which doesn't make any sense.
I
So-
about broke in that one scene. Y'all know, because y'all all looked at me while I was. Yeah, I'm sure y'all were trying to figure out why is he laughing so hard. And it was when the two cars just kind of got stuck together, and like one wanted to go forward and one was backing up, and so like they're having a chase scene in a building. So it's just the complete ineptitude of it just broke me at that point. I was just like, it looks like two people got in a car wreck and they're just trying to get out of the accident. They're trying to clear the roads until the police show up or something.
No, it looked. No, it's okay. It looked dumb. Let's just be clear here. It looked really dumb.
It looked dumb.
It was
So-
very
And then
stupid.
the climactic fight scene of him killing him was, I don't even remember it.
Oh yeah, you
Because
looked
they're punching
away.
Each other. They're punching each other. Then they get into like grapples, and then he finishes him off by like slamming his head in the trunk.
Oh yeah, in
Yeah,
the trunk.
yeah.
And then I said if it was Nicholas Winding Refn, or I think I said his name right,
Yeah, you said
from
it.
Drive, he would have decapitated him with the trunk lid.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
would've-
Gallon of blood. Yeah,
Yeah,
it would
it
have been
would've-
everywhere.
That's how you end a blaxploitation film right there.
Winding Refn should remake this.
Yeah.
But you looked away from the screen. You were playing with your dog. The main bad guy hits a thing, and he goes flying through the windshield.
Oh my
Yes.
God, I
Yeah.
did miss it. Yeah. What were y'all
Yes.
saying?
That was great,
Okay,
yeah.
so Black Cobra drives the main bad guy's car kind of into a little wall area kind of thing. It's not directly into the wall. It's in like before it. He goes flying out the windshield over the wall and then like ragdolls onto the floor.
Fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
See,
for the folks
stunts
at
and
home.
everything were amazing. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
they were. I was just gonna say, for the folks at home, we are like jumping around in a scene. We're not going completely linearly because
Yeah.
we're just doing it as we remember. But yeah, no, the stunts were awesome.
Yeah.
They were awesome. Can you believe
Yeah.
that?
But I mean,
Like,
but for an Italian film, like if we really compare blaxploitation to what we thought that's what this was, so it's not blaxploitation. It's a shadow of something else. It's
Yeah.
not what it really is. There is a lot of money in it. Blaxploitation
yes,
is
there
guerrilla
was.
style, on the fly,
Yeah.
no permits, maybe one shot, but like one take, and you get it going. And then the cutting
real,
room
yeah.
is very choppy. Sometimes you get extended scenes, or you get somebody breaking character before the scene cuts. This had exceptional camera work. We're talking dollies. We're talking actual tracks for the camera to fucking move on.
Yeah,
We're
there
talking
were some nice
cranes.
shots.
I mean, the car chase within the building is pretty eventful camera-wise. Like you're
Yeah.
getting
I mean, it's
multiple.
It's just the concept is so stupid.
stupid. Yeah.
I mean, it's not Dennis Villeneuve or anything,
Yeah.
but it
No,
is
yeah,
it
yeah,
is
I mean-
decent
Yeah.
for the
Well,
for the
yeah,
budget.
what I'm saying
and
when I say good shots, I don't mean like good
no,
shots.
yeah,
I
this is
mean,
definitely
like,
on a curve
it's-
here. But,
Yeah,
but no,
Yeah,
for real,
yeah,
compared
there's-
to
there's-
shit we've seen, pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I get what
No,
you're saying.
it really was. So like the budget was there, and so just the blaxploitation, which is usually a lack of budget, was not there. So
Right.
we don't get any one-liners like only dead motherfuckers float. Like a missed opportunity there. Like to have even just that's not even
Now
a
you're
clever
sleeping with the
one-liner. It's
fishes.
just
Now you're sleeping with the fish.
Exactly. So like that's a clever
Something
line.
like that,
you can
yeah.
literally come up with anything, and like that's true to blaxploitation culture and
Yeah,
the genre in
which
cinema.
came off of 80s action movie
Exactly.
culture. It
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
it fed off that. Yeah.
You had your Stallone movies and your Schwarzenegger and Van Damme and all this shit, or actually predating that as like Bronson and Seagal and stuff because they were a bit
Yeah.
bigger.
Yeah, not just 80s,
Yeah.
70s too.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah.
Blaxploitation's been around. I said 80s, but it's been around for a long time.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
And Hillary Duff.
and Hillary too.
Yeah.
The original 80s action movie star.
Oh.
No, I legitimately wanted to get into Herbie Fully Loaded. So it opens up with a
Moving
okay,
on.
we're done.
Okay, so even though there was great camera work and stuff, we did watch a print of this, and this print was a VHS print. Mind you, we watched it on DVD. So the DVD ripped from a VHS copy of this, and so we watched the VHS copy through DVD, and so the distortion of images was there. At one point, Black Cobra looked like Hamburger Face Man. Just looked like a pile of beef.
All the colors.
Me from this misery.
Yeah, all the colors were bleeding together.
Yeah, they were vibrating
points,
over one another, like especially the blues and the reds. They just hovered over shadows, like which looked really cool. It had very surreal moments.
Yeah,
and this also played well with
the kind of, like you're saying, the vibrating, the shaking screen with the coloration and like the oversaturation because of the print.
Exactly.
It was really
a copy of a copy of a copy kind of thing.
Yeah, the original was shot on video, and then they instead of transferring it, they actually put a camera in front of the TV. So they did a cam version.
No, I don't think.
And then they put it back on VHS, and then they ran it through an Atari. So that's why it looks so
the 24
fucking terrible.
or the 5600.
They took
56.
They took the film, the direct film, and they fed it to a chicken. And then the chicken shit that film out.
Really? Wow. Let me write this down.
And then they put that inside of an Xbox 360.
Wait, slow down.
Inside your brain, inside a Taco Bell.
Xbox 360. Okay.
So yeah, it had really cool visuals. Like some of it was really stunning at some points. Other points we were squinting because it was so dark you couldn't even see anything.
Yeah.
But one more thing before we jump into Red Planet is the ADR for this. Since it's an Italian film, we can we can round this off real quick and segue into Red Planet.
The ADR made some kaiju films look like they had good ADR.
Okay, just so you guys know, ADR stands for Automatic Dialogue Replacement, which is dubbing, ad-lib. So when actor can't they have a bad delivery of a line on the day, or there's something wrong with the audio, they have the actor come in a sound booth and they replace the audio.
Yeah, it's usually maintenance.
Yes,
usually fixing something.
Yeah, we want to clean it up. With Italian films, it is the sole purpose of audio.
Yeah, they do all their audio later.
Yeah, post. Except for Black Cobra, they had all of his. You know what I mean? Like only specific.
It's very
characters.
possible that wasn't him though.
No way. You were looking at me so dead straight, you fuck. I was like, surely he doesn't believe that.
No. They had the actor, but they still ADR him though.
Yeah.
They don't record him live. That's what's so weird about Italian films. And when they hire actors, it's their way of hiring actors of a variety of different nationalities. Mm-hmm. So everyone on set speaks their own native language. And then they ADR in English.
In English?
It's like it sounds like way too much work.
Now,
but that's how they do it.
This is something you would notice in like a
to
spaghetti western, like
right? Yeah, same thing. Yeah,
I feel like some people may seen that more notably because, like, I don't know, not too many people watch Italian horror to know. You know what I mean?
Right,
I feel like spaghetti western
sure.
is like the only type of Italian genre that really resonates
that's
in
probably
America.
the most famous.
Yeah.
Yeah, Clint Eastwood ADRing his shit. Yeah, same deal. For real.
I know, I'm just
okay.
You're just like, cracking me up. I think you're funny, Josh. That's why we're friends. Fuck.
Yeah, friends.
Bitch. Bitch, are you for real?
Dead motherfuckers float.
So yeah, there were a lot of characters in this that had ADR, and of course our main damsel in distress, she had her ADR was hysterical. There were moments her mouth is moving and it looks like a Godzilla film, as another reference, like where the mouth is moving and then you have
that's
English
perfect
dub.
because that's a perfect segue because you had just explained with the ADR. Kaiju is Godzilla essentially.
Oh really?
Yeah, that's like the proper.
Good for you. And how was it?
Oh, it was great. Thanks, Christian. I love when Christian Bale stops by.
It's great, babe.
So yeah, we actually need to watch some Godzilla.
Yeah,
definitely.
And we absolutely need to watch Gojira for like the sake
Do you mean
of
the
just,
original?
Yeah, the
Godzilla?
original Godzilla.
Okay,
Gojira.
definitely. Starring
Gojira.
Steve Martin.
I thought it was Bryan Cranston.
So
Main character is called Steve Martin.
It's
That's
not going to
his
be
name.
tour footage from the metal band Gojira.
Yes, and
Well, they're a band and they play like metal.
No, I'm saying yes. We will have it.
Oh, okay,
and,
good. I'm happy.
And
will there be snacks?
Kuwait grips.
Will there be snacks? Kuwait grips.
There will be no snacks.
Tachyon! Tachyon!
Okay. So enough of Black Cobra.
So my favorite scene of Black Cobra.
Yeah, go
was
ahead.
when they okay.
No, Anybody have a great scene?
No.
I can think of one.
Okay.
When Super 6-1 went down, it was really intense.
What's that?
Yeah.
We're talking about Black Cobra Down, right?
No.
Nope. Not a movie.
Pretty sure it was a movie.
Pretty sure it's
No.
a movie.
No.
Black Cobra Down. I see your hawk joke, Ethan. Okay.
I was in Training Day.
It's not a movie.
So we have oops, sorry, baby. So for our second pick,
It's
John.
not a movie, John.
You're a movie.
Okay, sorry.
All of our lives are movies. We're like
Really?
the Truman Show. I'm watching you, and I'm watching you, Josh.
I'm the guy with the camera on the garbage can.
I'm the guy crying in the bathroom.
I'm the guy who's dressed up like a raccoon, but I'm clearly just a full-grown man.
Okay, so for our second pick for Shit Show Showdown this week, we had our lucky winner, John, with Red Planet from 2000, and it stars Val Kilmer, Carrie-Anne Moss from The Matrix, Trinity from Matrix, and then Tom Sizemore, the alcoholic from Saving Private Ryan. Oh, excuse me, he's the actor from Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, the alcoholic from Tom Sizemore's life.
Tom, I'm joking, bud. We would love to have you in the studio.
Yeah, please
I'm
come
actually
on
a
down,
huge
Tom.
fan of Tom Sizemore.
Yeah, I love Tom.
I just
Sizemore.
like poking fun at people's tragedy because we're all going to die.
I mean, I loved Tom
best to just
Sizemore.
laugh.
Best 4 years of my life, but
That you have to tell me about that later.
Yeah, Gloria, pin that. We definitely want to hear about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so John,
right.
give us a quick
rundown of
Red Planet.
the
Which would've-
story. And I'm
Now,
using air
Rundown
quotes
would have
for
been a
this.
better choice than Red
Rundown.
Planet.
Okay, Rundown. Yeah, the Rundown, starring The Rock and Sean William Scott. So Sean William Scott plays. Anyways, Red Planet. Red Planet was about
what's the
they
plot?
went to Mars
Uh-huh.
in order to see why the oxygen levels were getting low, because they were terraforming Mars because they pretty much just turned Earth to shit. So in order to survive, they decided, instead of figuring out a way to get rid of the pollution in the atmosphere or go in like biodome, Pauly Shore could have been there. That would have been awesome. Instead they decided to terraform Mars. So they sent they nuked Mars. The science behind it that they tried to explain.
Yeah, they nuked
They
the
nuked
polar
Mars, the polar cap, in order
They
to
did?
Yeah.
in order to heat
To start
it
a
up to a
terraforming
point,
kind of thing.
so that they could plant algae into the environment, and that would allow it, because it was hot enough, it would allow it to. It was their science behind it.
I'll get into
It was
that.
I mean,
really-
as far as like,
I'll
as
let
far
you
as
finish
like
summarizing. I'll get into
the cosmos,
But,
made of all of us.
So they're going up there to check the planet, and it is Val Kilmer, who is they call him
Gallagher.
the space janitor, but
Space janitor?
But he's actually like the main technician.
I was so confused. Like everybody kept saying janitor, and I was
It's-
like, "Isn't he like
it's-
intelligent?
Yeah,
he's the
it's-
one controlling."
He's the head
Amy.
engineer.
Yeah,
But their joke.
He's the main engineer, but they're all like, "Well, you're not a scientist. You're just an engineer."
Yeah, they jokingly call
Meanwhile,
him the
everybody
janitor.
dies
Yeah.
except him
Yeah,
and
then
Carrie-Anne Moss.
yeah, and then they go to Mars, and when they're trying to initially land in orbit, there's like a solar flare or like an extra thing on top
Oh
of
yeah,
it.
that's the thrilling part in
Yeah.
Act 1.
And then so half the ship is engulfed in flames, and Carrie-Anne stays behind while the rest just take a ship straight to Mars, the little escape pod thing.
Right.
And she manages to end up getting all the flames put out, so she gets the life support and all that back online. And then they end up on Mars,
Which we knew was going to happen.
Yeah,
It's
everybody-
like, she's not going to die.
Yeah, you're not gonna have the only female character who
And this
they
is-
clearly show tension with Val Kilmer in the beginning.
Not
just
only
die.
Not only that,
Right.
she's Carrie-Anne Moss. Okay, this
Yeah,
is 2000. Matrix is
yeah.
1999.
Yeah, Matrix has
They're
just
not going
come
to kill
out.
her off.
She
for
is
that.
at the peak of her
Yeah.
career.
We know that she is going to survive.
Yeah.
So
That's a good point. Yeah, it's literally a year later after
Yeah.
Matrix. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
And-
even somebody on the back of the box quoted the Matrix, which
they
the
said
only
it's the
reason
best
they put that
sci-fi
quote on
since
the
The
box
Matrix.
is because of.
We gotta
Carrie-Anne
sell
Moss.
these DVDs.
Gotta sell them.
Yeah, DVDs are the way of the future.
You gotta
for-
make
for
a
the
lot.
next 2
You gotta make a lot of
decades.
money, kid.
Say it's the best sci-fi flick since The Matrix. That's never been done.
That's only been.
It's literally been done like
it's-
100 fucking times.
It's. Look at here, Chief.
I'm listening.
It's the year 2000. The Matrix has only been 1 year old. That means it's only been done like 87 times at this point.
1 year. Oh, I don't know.
Okay, so we have a basic synopsis of the plot. Like, they're gonna have to survive because of them crash landing on Mars with not a way back to the
Yeah,
ship.
and the base that they're supposed to set up at that has food and life support and systems and all that stuff is destroyed.
Yeah.
So they have like only a few hours left of oxygen.
Yeah,
Yeah. So,
which
did you mention like the ending? I wasn't paying
I
attention.
didn't because
Oh,
the
that's fine.
plot
We can
is
talk
so
about it.
fucking just
Yeah.
long and dumb.
Oh my god.
well,
yeah.
spoilers. There's air on Mars.
Yeah, they can breathe on
Rachel
Mars.
called that, our producer.
There's like magic alien things. Amy's there. We didn't even talk about. Barely
We'll
even
get to it.
touched on her.
Well, we're
but,
just
like-
doing the plot right now.
Yeah, it's so fucking convoluted and stupid. So yeah, the robot that's meant to help them is trying to kill them now, and then also all the algae's gone because it was eaten by these nematodes.
Yeah, they said they
What
were
they
a type
could-
of
yeah,
nematode.
a type of
Tom
nematode.
Sizemore, I guess, is a geologist, biologist, something of the degree.
He's just a
Yeah.
scientist because he makes the liquor in the beginning too.
yeah.
Right.
Like he's just a general science.
Yeah.
General. I'm Tom. I'm a general science major.
I'm a generalist.
Yeah. I just really quick. I wanted to mention I'm a space enthusiast. Very very interested in space. Not a professional by any means. I
Completely intrigued. I understand and agree.
fucking love it. I'm always watching like NASA lectures and shit just because it fascinates me.
Oh, space.
Yeah, space,
I thought you were
NASA,
talking about
like-
like you're just really into like how much space is in this room and then how
Oh
much space
yeah,
is in
yeah.
that
I can
room.
see why you can get that confused.
Because
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
a space
Yeah,
enthusiast.
should have clarified. So watching this movie, there's a thing you can do where you're just like, okay, I shouldn't have to worry about the science in this movie because it's a
Right.
dumb action movie.
Mm-hmm. It's schlock.
But I'm actually I tried to do that and found I was unable to. So yeah. So first off, they we'll start with when they take their helmets off
yeah.
and they so really quick. So they send algae to the planet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to create oxygen on the planet. Okay, I got you so far. That makes sense. They show up and there's no algae, so they think that the terraforming has failed. Right, that's what they think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they would know before they landed and spent like trillions of dollars. They would know that before they showed up.
Yeah, I feel like they
So-
would have looked at from the ship. They'd be like, surveillance satellites are showing that the compound is
Right.
doing great. I see Norm down there, and he's cultivating some basil.
Yeah,
And they
You know,
clearly-
like they would have had.
exactly,
They,
Yeah, they clearly
would've had that figured out.
Yeah.
the technology to do that too because Trinity was looking down on them
Yeah.
the entire time.
She was
and
yes,
could, like,
surveillance.
pinpoint.
Yeah, I mean,
surveying the whole time.
Seafaring nations in the 1700s had telescopes, so all you got to do is look at the
Yeah.
planet.
Yeah.
So that was
They
really
did?
dumb. Yeah, no, that was being facetious.
But no, you're right. Like it's clear that like they show up and they're like, oh, there's nothing here. It's like, yeah, like
How do you not know that?
you're literally the leading in the scientific field for the human race's survival.
Yeah,
You better
like-
know what the fuck you're showing up to.
And now they do find algae later,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But it's like what, a football field? They don't
I don't know
they
what's
don't have an
going on. It's a
establishing
It's a very
shot.
small patch.
It seems like it.
Yeah.
It might have been bigger, but
It
they
was a
don't
small-
show us.
Yeah.
It was a small patch when
Yeah,
we
it's
first
like
see it.
Yeah, you're saying they
And
don't have
then
an establishing
whenever
shot.
Tom Sizemore dies, then you see how much algae is out there.
Yeah,
algae
and it's like
gene.
I don't know, like And even if it even if it was
there's not
Australia,
enough for them. There's not enough for them
not
to
enough.
be. Yeah, no, they would have suffocated.
Fuck yeah, they would have died. Yeah. So,
The explanation that the movie gave is that those bugs farted out oxygen.
Yeah,
is that what they said?
And literally
Yeah.
any.
Oh,
well, they didn't say fart.
That's what it was. They didn't say it, but that's what it was.
They're secreting oxygen.
Hey, Space Kilmer, what are you doing? I'm just going over my my hypothesis results, and apparently the insects are farting oxygen. Scientifically to put it. Farting oxygen. But they literally eat anything. They ate the compound, we come to find out, and they eat Tom Sizemore, and they're eating one of the guys that's dead.
Right.
Which
Speaking of the guys
people
that
are dying in
died,
this,
they killed
but it's
off two people
so
like
boring.
Yeah, man.
in the stupidest way, and they killed them off like, oh, we landed. Oh, I'm gonna die here, and then it's the other dude is just like, fucking hits the dude and he falls.
Yeah. Oh, Benjamin Pratt,
dude,
gets pushed off on accident.
That was so dumb.
I could understand that.
Like they have the disagreement.
Yeah, they have the disagreement, little shuffle, and he gets knocked off. Okay,
Right.
that did not transfer well for that actor and that character's arc. He should have been sweating with guilt. He should have been like losing his fucking mind.
That's a good point. Yeah, for
like
real.
he should have been the bad guy and not Amy, a robot that they brought that is a Green Beret scientist.
They pretty much made the
talk-
whole thing. They made that whole Amy thing just to have
another
CGI
antagonist
thing. Yeah.
Literally.
No, not even just an antagonist, just a CGI thing.
Yeah.
that they could
That
add
too.
in.
Yeah.
Which stinks because they have
it's-
great miniatures for the space station. I have that written. Like a lot of the space stuff was miniatures and it looked fucking great.
Yeah.
But they bring along this robot for the folks at home that don't know, and they set up that it has a military mode, which means it's like aggressive and it attacks. Like it attacks. So they're going to Mars, and there's no threat. There's no life on Mars, right?
They
As
literally
far as
had to
they
create
know.
life
Yeah.
on Mars.
Right, yeah. I mean,
What are they going to shoot the algae when they get there?
yeah,
freeze?
Right, you don't need a military robot, and it malfunctions and attacks them, so they just fuck themselves by bringing it. So that was stupid.
And here's the thing. They were trying, I have it written here. It's like, and John made the point, they tried to make a horror / survival thriller. It's like a horror element to The Martian. You know, so if like Matt Damon was having to fight some creature out there. Except they had no direction. Like they didn't
Doom,
know if they
but bad.
Exactly.
And I don't
Doom
mean
is
Doom
great.
Yeah.
Doom is complete shock. Schlock.
The Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, with The
seen
Rock.
that. Okay.
It's so much fun. At least they're doing it. They're like, all science is out the window. Doesn't matter. We're doing horror with space elements, not space with horror elements.
That is a good point.
Okay,
Right.
and so here we have a space survival thriller with horror elements. It doesn't work. You just need to eliminate Amy, the robot beret scientist.
Yeah, you don't need
and
her.
just have the guy that feels guilty for killing one of the lieutenants.
Yeah.
Like just have his guilt turn him into. There's nothing more terrifying.
and just direct it better. You had some pretty decent cast to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing
Right.
more. There's nothing more terrifying than the monster within man.
Yeah.
And
there you
Universal Studios has touched on this in so many different ways. You've got Dracula, the creature of the Black Lagoon, Wolfman. That's a struggle with man and self. Like that's an internal conflict projected visually for us to see. Oh,
Since
he's a
the
wolf.
30s, we've been doing that.
So
yeah.
like that guy that felt guilty should have been like trying to rock, like a climbing pick. He should have just been insane with that by the end of the movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then him
like maybe gone a little crazy, space crazy.
That's all we need. Like
would've made more
Pandorum
sense.
did it great, where you're just like
Event Horizon.
Horizon, Sunshine, fucking Danny Boyle's
I need
film.
to see that. That fucking that music though is so powerful.
It's used in a lot of shit.
No,
It's really
that
good.
makes sense though. The framework of the movie is science fiction.
Yeah,
Thriller second.
yeah,
So if you're gonna do science fiction first, you have to have the science, and you have to take out some of the stupidity too.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think they wanted a. I think they wanted a grounded, more survival thriller, and then I'm sure the studio was like, because this is Warner Brothers, I'm sure they were like, look, you need to have some sort of...
Right, yeah.
They can't just be walking around all day,
Yeah,
which is
producers-
what fucking happened the entire
Anyway,
movie.
yeah.
It was so fucking boring. So boring.
But John, you mentioned Event Horizon. See, that's a good version. That's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's not. It's okay.
Well,
I
that's-
liked it.
yeah,
I liked
when
it.
we
horror
say-
with a touch of science.
Right? Yeah. Like it.
I mean, we
it
can-
opens a portal to another dimension.
Dimension.
It can be
a hell dimension.
I feel
Sure,
like
fine. Like that's ridiculous, but it works for that movie.
Spoilers.
I feel like good
Spoilers.
is-
Yeah.
I feel like good is a good term to use because if we start getting into like above average and stuff like that, like if it's art house, it's great.
There you go. Yeah.
But otherwise, it's good. It's all right. It's fun.
Yeah. It's schlock.
Yeah.
So-
Schlock.
Good schlock.
Good schlock. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like
I agree though.
take the Revenant, right? The
Yeah.
Revenant. Alejandro, is that his name? Or
Yeah. Alejandro Inarritu, I think.
Or yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you take that, it's like you have all these people that are out stranded and they're turning on one another.
Right.
You take that
yeah.
same element and you put it on Mars, right?
Sure,
Like that's
yeah.
what you have here. We have all the character stereotypes. Oh, we've got the Tom Sizemore. He's the biologist, and we're just
Yeah.
gonna put generally scientist
Yeah.
because they're all just
I'm
kind of
Tom.
scientists.
I do general science.
Y'all kept
Yeah.
making the joke over and over. I'm a scientist.
Zeta,
when they did
Zeta,
something
Zeta,
stupid.
Zeta, Zeta.
Yeah,
So,
they set fire to a burned down facility on Mars.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And-
that's
and-
stupid.
Yeah,
and then they
and then them and Dre stood next to it with a. I fucked it up.
What happened? Oh, okay. You're doing a bit.
Still
I was
no one
following
found
along.
out.
Still
I don't remember the lyrics, so I completely fucked it up.
can full of gas,
Yeah,
handful of
as
matches.
bored
a
as
handful
we
of
were-
matches. Still no one found out.
Damn.
The,
Bar. So
Can fire kill you? Find out tonight,
tonight
at
at
6.
6.
oh God, I gotta get this. I've been wondering my whole life.
Am I on fire? Okay, so needless to say, the movie was boring. We don't have too many topics on this because you had great actors thrusted into what was probably a science fiction thriller
and
Yeah.
a shitty
with
directing.
too much horror elements, and that really caused the movie to just drag.
Yeah.
I mean, it
Yeah.
felt like I was on Mars,
was
and
boring.
that's not something they chose artistically. It's not like you're watching some profound film where you feel like you're on actual Mars and you feel like you're deserted and you don't want the movie to end. You just want to survive, kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's not how this movie felt. I was just like, please get to the action scenes. Like, get to the action.
Might
you
as
have
well,
4 people
yeah.
on Mars.
Yeah.
Literally do anything you want.
They had
It's
5.
space.
They had
You
5.
said fuck it to the wind anyways.
Initially, they had 5.
Yeah.
And like, why did they kill off? I forget the actor's name, but the old dude. Like, they build
Oh,
up.
Terrence something. I can't remember.
Yeah,
his
but
last
they
name.
build up
English
this
actor.
whole like backstory for him,
He has a god complex
has a god
almost, it feels
complex.
like. Very hinted.
and then they
He's
kill
religious,
him off
yeah.
immediately
Yeah.
to leave in this character that we don't learn anything about.
Right.
2 fucking
He
characters.
could have
we
been a
don't know
bad
anything
guy.
Yeah, I was
about.
gonna say,
we don't
he-
know.
he-
Yeah, he would have made a great bad guy.
Yeah.
Aside from the fact that he's a general scientist, we don't know shit about Tom Sizemore's character.
Yeah.
And aside from the fact that something, my grandpa, we don't know shit about Val Kilmer's character.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
the
No, they
he's the
don't-
guy that wears glasses in space.
Yeah. No. So I have a question for you guys about Red Planet.
Please.
Where did the bugs come from?
I have no idea. Well, they look
Yeah.
like rocks, right? And so they establish early on the
They look
geography
like
of where
rocks.
things
Yeah.
the geography of where things should be. They're not. Like some mountainous areas are like don't line up with the photos that they have.
So it was
Yeah,
like
it's-
so it was like that shitty moon movie that used quote unquote found footage where the aliens were rock monsters.
Well, I thought that the
I
bugs
got dragged to that. It was awful.
Yeah. What was the movie?
It was called like Apollo something or whatever. It was fucking Paranormal Activity, but in space.
What?
It was like an astronaut mission. They sold
It's
all
a
the
found
the
footage
trailers.
movie
It was a
in
found
space.
footage movie on the moon.
That's
They sold
fucking
it. They sold it
terrible. I'm
as
sorry?
they sold it as like the unseen Apollo footage.
I've seen that.
Dude,
See,
I got-
that's
it
what I
was-
thought the rocks were going to
Yeah.
be doing on Red Planet. I thought the geography was going to be moving. Like, I thought the planet was going to be alive in a sense. You know what I mean? And the
Yeah.
bugs kind of look like rocks, and the coward, as it were, of the cast is like, do you guys see the ground moving? And they're all like, no, they
Right.
pay it
Yeah.
off as
I don't see anything.
mirage and stuff.
Yeah.
And then we, of course, see the rocks moving. And I thought that was going to play into something really big in the end.
Right.
And have like this whole like, whoa, the whole fucking, they're walking in circles, kind of
Something
thing.
like
No wonder
that,
they
yeah.
haven't seen any algae.
Because
Like,
the rocks are
they're
moving.
walking in
or something.
circles,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah,
The ground is moving underneath them. They're on a treadmill kind of thing.
Yeah, and I'm fascinated with Mars because it's the closest planet to us that is really close to Earth, so that's why everyone wants to go live there. But what's fascinating about Mars is they nothing can live there, so it's a little fascinating that apparently there's bugs there.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah, what are they eating, John?
I think
before
that's
the
the
algae?
point.
Before the algae, what are they eating? Yeah.
Pre-algae, I just think it was a killer be killed situation where
They eat each other. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I
Right.
think
So they've been around eating
Yeah.
each other.
Well, I
Yeah,
think
they've just been,
it's
somehow
interesting.
they
That
didn't go
makes-
extinct.
That makes no sense.
It's interesting to the history that we know of Mars, which is it
Maybe
looks
they
like
can-
it.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Dylan.
Maybe they can survive off of a consistent diet of rocks.
Oh yeah.
They're eating the rocks.
They're
Or
eating
maybe
the rocks.
we've been launching beef jerky up there, and then they're
Jackwings.
eating caches of beef jerky.
We thought before we sent up algae, we thought, hey, maybe beef jerky will do the terraforming for
shotgun
us.
it in.
SpaceX, thank you.
So we sent like about 100 pounds of jack links up there, and it didn't really do anything. We're not really sure why.
But yeah, you know how long it took for cellular life to evolve into like marsupials, like early monkeys?
Well, I'd like
Like
to say
7
billion
days. I've read the
years.
book.
7 days.
No, I
Well,
mean,
6
you gotta
on the
do
7th
the
you
math.
rested.
You gotta do the math here. Like cellular networks became a thing in like 1980 something. I mean,
Right,
there was
yeah,
already
the-
radio networks,
'cause-
but like as far as commercialized cellular service, we're talking about like late 80s, 90s. As
What?
far
That
as,
type of cell.
yeah,
What?
we're talking about like singular wireless, right?
No, Jesus Christ, John.
This Cinema Shat is brought to you by Singular Wireless.
So the building
A company that has been defunct for years is sponsoring our podcast.
they've been defunct. They can't play in a funk band anymore.
Okay,
so I just wanted
you're
to
good.
finish my point. They the building blocks of life is water. So if there's no water, there's not going to be bugs that look like rocks living on the surface.
yeah.
Okay. Sorry, that really pisses
even
me
though
off.
tardigrades can live in the vacuum of space for an
Right.
insurmountable amount of time,
That's
we don't
true.
know what these bugs do.
Right,
so
yeah.
we can't just assume. That would be bad science, guys.
Right,
We're
no.
not bad science.
That is correct. Yeah,
Bits and pieces, bits and bits and pieces. My creation. Is it real? It's my creation. Shout
So,
out
like-
Danny Elfman.
Danny Elfman. What's up, dude? What are you doing?
What's up? What's up? You want to come on the show dressed as
We are.
how you dressed when you were in Oingo Boingo?
So we should have Danny Elfman, since we already have musical guest Wu-Tang Clan
yeah,
here
Wu-Tang
in the
Clan.
studio.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys, for
Thanks
stopping
coming.
by.
Thanks for
We should
coming
have
in.
Danny Elfman. They should do a collab. So like,
I agree. They already did a collab. It was
Really?
it was Wu-Tang with Elfman live at Montreal '86.
We should,
Fuck off.
we should actually mic up Wu-Tang Clan. I mean, how often do you get Wu-Tang Clan at your house?
Yeah, the entire clan.
You guys want to
Not
mic?
just the name. The entire clan is
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Okay,
It's
so
like 16 people in here.
The RZA,
it's hot.
the Jizza, Raekwon the chef,
And Shelly.
Inspector Deck,
So even though,
Shelly,
even though there was no,
the reanimated corpse of old dirty bastard,
even though there was no,
Method Man.
no life on Mars.
Abaddon.
John, Jesus fucking Christ, man. It was like every time I started to talk, you had to finish one more word.
There's so many members of the Wu-Tang Clan. It's important.
It's a numerous group.
You think I'm gonna forget about Shelly?
I know it's enormous. It's a fucking clan.
That's correct. Yes.
It's not the Wu-Tang couple.
The Wu-Tang
A
fellows.
couple Wu-Tang peoples are here. No,
Anywho,
but
go ahead.
when we were talking about like the algae and everything and how are these living things being on there, I thought it was interesting that they kind of already existed we didn't have any, science to any of it, and it didn't make sense other than the fact that Mars, we theorized that Mars once had life on it.
Right. They
huge
think
oceans
that
and
there
stuff.
is water
So
there.
what if these
Yeah.
bugs were like an invasive species, say like a mosquito or a cockroach or something, and they're just what lived and ate because they consumed
Right,
human metal. I mean, safe to assume any type of material created by man, and then living tissue. So like man and algae and trees and all that bullshit.
Right.
That's what I'm
yeah.
saying. So like the fact that it's a dust planet makes sense that they're there, but like, how have they lived so long?
Right. Yeah.
Are they tardigrades?
They have nothing to eat. Yeah. Yeah.
They had nothing to eat, and they were completely explosive. Remember, they they release oxygen, so like when they burn up, they explode. And when Tom Sizemore kills himself, he does that ring of fire on the planet. Do you remember?
Yep.
You're looking at me like, why am I talking about this bullshit?
No, I remember. Yeah.
It was that bad. I know.
Yeah.
I mean, it was completely boring.
Yeah.
And
they,
it showed on Val Kilmer's face.
Oh, yeah.
Like he
Val
was
Kilmer
bored
was
the
so out of
entire
it.
movie. You know what? I want to watch the entire movie where he's on the ship because he was charming and fun. At least he had a character, whether it was like he's just joking
Yeah.
around and wears glasses.
I
On
want to
Mars,
watch.
he's boring
I just
as
want to
fuck.
watch Kiss Kiss Bang Bang again.
Yeah, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Guys, if you haven't watched
Yeah.
that,
Watch
Josh,
Kiss
I
Kiss
haven't
Bang
seen
Bang.
that.
Oh,
dude, you got to borrow it.
Yeah.
You got to borrow
Cool.
it. You got to borrow Hateful Eight,
Yeah.
John, and you can borrow.
Can I borrow that
Yeah.
tonight?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Nice.
Awesome.
You turn in your movies. We ain't
I mean-
Blockbuster, all right?
But,
Movies back or fingers gone.
Oh,
That's the
oh,
title
oh.
of tonight's.
Okay.
No, so
James, I'm looking at you with.
Won't I?
so they
Steins Gate.
when they land on Mars.
That's very true.
They,
Yeah, you did bring over.
Watch them.
So you landed on Mars, and man, everything's gone tits up. What do? You go first thing.
First of all, you God, Master Killer.
So you
I already
look
said
for
Raekwon the chef.
you look for
Jizza the genius.
the Discovery that landed.
Yeah,
Redman's there a lot, but he's not technically part of the clan.
John, you're gonna get choked to death with your own mic.
They look for the other Mars
no
rover
time.
that they sent in the 90s.
Right.
So yeah, that's really dumb. They look for that so they can communicate with the ship.
Oh yeah, they're using
Yeah.
parts from it. They're using the
Yeah, yeah.
radio, which is just some circuit board with cords wrapped around it.
He takes a drill. It's a Phillips head, by the way, on the Mars rover.
Yeah,
it's
I
a
feel
Phillips
like
head.
I feel like it would
And
be
they-
like a star nut, like something like intricate.
Yeah, like it's a
weird piece.
fucking AC unit. He takes the side off and he just takes a chip out of it.
Yeah, see, the coolant here is frozen up your system, and that's why Mars rover hasn't been in communication with the
I
lab.
distinctly remember him grabbing the chip and ripping it out.
Not only that, dust flies everywhere. Like the entire system has had a decade of Mars dirt in it.
Yeah,
It's going
he
to work.
rips it out. The scientist rips it out of. Are you? Oh my god!
Wait, the scientist or the alcoholic? Which one are you talking about?
They're
What's
both.
the
yeah, both.
But yeah, and then they go to the Russian Mars rover. They go to both Mars rovers,
Yeah,
which apparently are within a mile
they
of
have
each
not
other.
eaten. They have not
Yeah,
eaten.
they haven't eaten anything.
They've passed what 2 days?
Yeah, they didn't eat
2 days not
anything.
2 whole
eating,
days,
no water.
one night. Yeah,
No water on Mars.
yeah. By the way, you're not going to survive
Which they've
sleeping
already
at
established-
night on Mars.
Yeah, you're going to
Yeah.
fucking.
You're literally going to freeze
Yeah.
into a block
Yeah.
of ice.
And they've also established that God. No.
Well, not on this Mars because there's.
No, what?
I wasn't gonna say
You're just
anything.
putting it
That
back-
was the
putting me
bit.
Back on this spot.
No.
Which Mars?
Stop poking holes in factual science, you fuck.
No, I was saying that they'd already established that it's like high altitude on top of that. So no food, no water, high altitude environment.
Is that what they said?
Yeah.
And they
Oh,
drank
okay.
the night before.
yeah, and they
yeah,
drank the
they're-
night
Before they landed on Mars, they drank.
the
So they're
moonshine that Tom
incredibly
Sizemore made.
dehydrated.
Yeah, they're hungover.
They should be attacking each other.
Yeah, they
There should be no
That should be the
robot element.
conflict. Yeah.
That would be so much.
That would have been
We're
great.
so
right?
frustrated
Much
right now.
better
We're like
film.
pounding our fists like the fucking UN. We're just.
And that's what I'm
fucked
saying.
it up.
They had good enough actors to do it.
Exact.
Yeah.
Carrie Moss. Poor poor thing. She was just in the space station the whole time. Like, they wasted a great actress.
Yeah, she's
they
great.
wasted her.
Like, I know this is a little macabre and weird, but she should have been down on the planet and maybe like an attempted like rape or something awful like that. Like, you know, plot. Like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
disturbing
Like, man
plot
becomes
twist or
disturbing
something.
plot thing,
Yeah.
but like,
Yeah.
you know, with that just had producers' hands all over it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
this had
what if he
producers
gets
all over.
infected with something like a microbe that's been able to live on Mars?
I honestly...
Gets
Or just-
infected
or just
and then
God-
has sex with carrie-anne Moss and creates a moss monster.
A monster.
They call me
A monster.
Moss Monster.
He can speak English right off the bat.
Right off the
Yeah.
bat. And he shits cupcakes. Anything happens on Mars.
Hi.
And he plays rockabilly tunes.
But anyway,
This even though it was incredibly slow, like there is a survival thriller under there. Like the amount of just dead time and where they're hanging out, there had to be something, and they were like, we need to get our hands in something else.
Yeah.
You know, like
It had potential to be a lot better than what it was.
yeah. Why were the bugs eating the guy?
I don't know.
They've never eaten meat ever.
I looked down to look up something on my phone for fucking.
you missed
like,
that moment,
It
yeah.
was. I want to say I was looking up something with. Oh yeah, Tom Sizemore. I wanted to see what else he was in, and what I remembered him from. And I looked down for fucking 1 second, and next thing I know, he's being eaten by bugs, and it's like he was just walking normally a second ago.
the second his blood hit the ground, the bugs went.
They were
nuts.
attracted to the blood,
But
they've never eaten blood ever. They're herbivores.
But they have
Yeah.
eaten blood because the previous team, the habitat that
Oh yeah.
previously existed, which is now destroyed, that had people and all
Okay,
sorts
well
of stuff.
before those guys, they
No,
never
I
eaten
agree.
blood.
I agree. No, I completely agree. It makes no fucking sense.
Maybe there were
Like,
a
they
couple
should-
of a
just-
couple of bugs there that were just like, you know what, I'm tired of eating the same thing. I want to try something different.
Yeah, that's
like
a good point.
keep the oxygen thing. Keep the oxygen thing, okay? But come up with a creative way other than like some bugs. You know, like just make it the algae work. It worked out. You're gonna go to this planet, but then they all went mad. Or is that Mission to Mars? Is that Mission to Mars where they show up and
I can't
people
remember the plot
people
to
that lived
that.
there went crazy and only one person survived?
I can't remember
Is
what that
that-
I don't
happens
know.
in that.
Nonetheless,
Because I
like
feel like I
they
remember
should've
Mission to
just-
Mars got way more into the point where it was like forerunners and like.
Yeah, there's
like
like
the
aliens
precursors and
there
shit.
that are
Okay,
really
never mind.
old.
Like there was
which
like
is
some
really cool.
seriously fucking like high tech shit that was like in one of the like in the face.
I feel like there's a movie with Don Cheadle where he's on Mars and
But that sounds
he's like-
really familiar.
He's like
Yeah, it
he's
does, yeah.
he's got a beard and everything, and he's the only one that
What the
was
fuck
left.
movie is
Yeah.
that?
I don't. We'll figure it out.
Anyway,
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I've
Hotel,
seen what you're talking about.
Hotel Rwanda.
God, yeah. Adjust your audio tracking.
Computer.
Computer, do something. Something is being done. Whenever Carrie talked to the space station, it just repeated like the past tense of like the completion tense of whatever she commanded.
Computer, could you please fill the plot hole? Filling plot hole.
Plot holes filled.
Computer, that's so sad. Play Despacito.
Despacito playing.
Contacting scriptwriter.
Scriptwriter killed himself. There's a note. They didn't follow my vision. That's all it
He
says.
blasted himself for Mission to Mars.
Okay, so
Whatever. Red Planet.
Val
Who gives a
Kilmer.
fuck?
Val Kilmer was bored. Carrie-Anne
so
Carrie-Anne Moss
bored.
was misused, and all of the actors had no idea what they were doing because it from the moment they got to the planet, it just flopped.
Yeah.
It just flopped.
Yeah.
We were trying to make fun of it, but honestly, we just ended up having conversation. I just started eating. I was like, this needs so much more going on.
It was
And
so
Yeah.
boring.
I mean, Carrie-Anne Moss was bored too. But
Yeah.
she's actually a professional actress.
Yeah.
So
At least
you did
she
yeah,
brought
well.
it
she
in.
doesn't. Yeah, she.
Val's hamming it the whole
Val's
time.
a fucking asshole.
And-
He doesn't care.
Right, yeah. And what you said earlier was on the ship, he's actually acting.
Charismatic, yeah.
Yeah.
It's charming.
So you can tell when he checked out of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
And decided it
My
it was
fa-
bad.
Was it when
or-
they were in the
culminating-
Arizona desert in
Yeah.
leather spacesuits?
Oh, that's a good point. Like they're
Like-
like getting cooked like
Yeah.
all day. Like
There you go. Yeah.
he's probably pissed off
Yeah.
about that.
That definitely probably played a role. while he definitely checked out a lot sooner than that, the culmination of his performance on the planet just was complete when it's just like, fuck this planet.
Oh my god!
God.
Yeah,
So
that's a great ending to the movie. Yeah, so like he finally gets off the planet. He's been complaining about the planet the whole time.
Oh my god.
Meanwhile, okay, jump back to the beginning when we're first watching it, and I'm like, why is nobody acting like they just got to Mars? Like I asked everybody, I was like, what would you do if you just got to Mars?
I would freak the fuck
You would
out.
freak the fuck out. You're
Be
like,
happy.
I'm on Mars. Oh my god.
We're scientists.
You would do a
This is-
cartwheel. You'd be like, I'm the first person to do a
This
cartwheel.
is the dream that you've had since you were 4.
No, everybody's
real.
just everybody's sitting there like they're at a park talking about science.
Like,
Oh wait, they're at an Arizona National Park talking about scripted science.
Yeah,
right, yeah, they crash
on
landed.
top of that, they're not amazed by the fact they're on Mars, nor are they freaking out on the fact that they have like 8 hours of oxygen left and they're
Yeah.
going to die.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
sitting around monologuing.
Yeah.
Like, you're
But
not
anyways,
scientists.
Yeah, so at the very end, Val Kilmer has a hatred for Mars, culminating from the fact that Amy has been attacking him the whole time, the gorilla from Congo. And did I mention she's a robot gorilla this time?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Who's to say she
So-
wasn't a robot gorilla the whole time?
So the
he
folks
f-
at home,
he flips off
the robot
the camera.
is called Amy.
Yeah,
And he's
yeah,
referring to
Amy, the gorilla from
the
Congo.
gorilla from Congo.
Which we've referenced on here before.
Yes,
Yeah. So
yes.
guys,
Sorry,
watch
go
Congo.
ahead.
And Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Throwback
References.
Wesley Snipes, the boat wizard.
Okay, so Val Kilmer flips off the camera, which essentially he's just looking at Mars. Like, it's the point of view of Mars, and he's like, fuck Mars, or fuck this he says, fuck this
Fuck
planet,
this
and
planet.
flips off the camera, and we died laughing. That was the best part of the movie. Best part of the movie,
and the
him doing
delivery
that.
was just, he just did not
Yeah.
give a fuck.
Yeah, I think he was done with this.
He was
I mean,
so
this
done
is
with
after
that movie.
Island
that
of Dr.
was
Moreau.
Yeah, that was at the point where he was just like, that was his swan song to the movie.
Yeah.
Where it was just like, I know that I have to say fuck this planet. I really mean fuck this movie.
Yeah.
Fuck
yeah.
this script. Why is fuck this planet a line in this movie?
Yeah.
I'm checked out.
Okay, so
Yeah.
let's do our best picture. Who's Josh? Best picture of the night.
So definitely Black Cobra.
Okay.
Don't even have to think about it. Black Cobra was fucking awesome. I liked how old it looked.
Yeah. Added to the aesthetic
weird.
of watching
It looked terrible, but it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to explain that.
I
it's
can't
just fun
explain
to
it
watch
either.
a shitty movie sometimes. Not all the time. You got to be in the right mood.
Yeah.
But yeah, you saw the flicker from the VHS when the guy that was doing it in his mom's basement like bumped into the VHS.
And when we
with
say
his
guy,
drink.
we mean DVD. What was the brand name? Digital View Entertainment.
Yeah, we're not too sure if this is a bootleg. James thinks it's not.
I don't
which
think
it
it
very
is.
could well not be. But
I think it's
I'm
one of
pretty
those
sure it's a
dollar
bootleg.
ones at the gas station.
That's true. It could be that too. But yeah, definitely Black Cobra. There was a lot of action in it. My favorite action scene. Well, I think we're all gonna have the same one, so I'll just say I really liked I liked the restaurant scene.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the reveal was stupid, but I just like the little shootout they have that doesn't last too long. It's pretty cool.
I like how your eyes are squinting. It doesn't last too long.
So yeah, Black
I don't wanna
Cobra
be-
for me.
I don't want to
to
have too much action in my action movie. Okay, John, what say you, brother?
I definitely have to go with Black Cobra. It's
Yeah.
not hard at all.
Yeah. I think it's
Red Planet
unanimous.
had the potential to be a better movie.
It really did.
It's had so much more potential, but it flopped so.
It's great as a bad movie. Can you
so
imagine if it was a
hard.
good movie? Like, we wouldn't even be watching it for shit show.
Yeah.
We would be comparing Interstellar to it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, we would actually have conversations about how well it was executed and how thrilling it was to watch humans turn on each other on Mars. Like, that would have been
Dude.
cool.
Good movie.
And they would
Great.
yeah. That's we should watch that movie
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
if it exists.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah. What were you gonna say though about Black Cobra specifically?
About Black Cobra.
Yeah.
One more thing on Red Planet. I think it would have been better also if they kept the same plot, but just
Oh,
had
yeah, that's
Fred
what you were saying.
Williamson play every role.
Oh yeah, Fred
like,
Williamson in this would have
Yes.
been
Eddie
awesome.
Murphy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Black Cobra on Red Planet.
No, that would have been great. Like he just shows up, just shoots all. What the fuck's with these bugs? Shut up, bugs. Eat that algae. Don't talk.
Only
talk,
dead
bug, eat
bugs
some
don't
algae.
talk. Speaking of dead bugs, we need to watch God dang it! How did I? Shit. The only good bug is a dead bug.
Oh, Starship
Trooper.
Need to watch that.
A cult
Yeah.
fucking classic.
It's a brilliant film.
You don't
Okay.
understand
Yeah.
how much of a special place in my heart that movie
More on that
holds.
another time.
Yeah,
More on
it's
that
a
another
good
time.
I love
goddamn
that
movie.
movie so goddamn much. I have seen it so many times since I was a child.
Yeah,
As
it's
have I.
fucking awesome.
As have I. We should watch all of them because there's
Definitely.
sequels. We should torture ourselves because
Ooh.
they're
down.
The
only
first
going
one-
to get worse.
The first one's entertaining.
well, it's
after that,
brilliant.
it gets
it's
terrible.
brilliant because
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
satire.
well,
It's
'cause- yeah,
Paul
'cause
Verhoeven. It's
yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah.
The satirical
On
nature makes it
fascism,
so much more,
everything,
so much
it's
more
so
brilliant. But I'm
hilarious.
saying like, the second one is so painful.
Yeah.
Never even seen
They
it.
got Casper Van Dien for the second one, didn't they?
Did
I don't remember.
Pretty sure.
I remember me and my buddy being really excited for the second one. I remember me and my buddy being really excited for the second one, and just aside from one outdoor shot that I remember where it's like this really cool storm shot, everything else is trash and forgettable.
Yeah, on the second one, Paul Verhoeven directed people to their seats in the theater. Get
Okay,
it?
so my pick for Shit Show Showdown this week and ultimately best picture
What
of
was
the
your
week
pick?
is Black Cobra.
And another one. We the best.
We the best.
Even though
I
it was,
don't actually do anything. I just get people together and shout on their songs. DJ Khaled, yeah.
Anyway, what were you saying?
I was just gonna say, even though the one thing that Black Cobra was missing was the essence of blaxploitation, it obviously was the clear winner. It had a lesser budget, more coherent story, better action. The motivations of the character were pretty clear. Each character, it was like, okay, I'm in trouble. I'm gonna get murdered. Hey, I'm the murderer. Hey, I'm the savior. That literally. That's all you needed for
Yeah.
that. And
Hey, I'm
Red
the
Planet
buddy
could not
cop.
establish that.
Yeah.
We were literally picking up. It felt like picking up rocks on Mars and going, "What do you think this is?" Like that's how the movie felt. We were just trying to put it together
And the
ourselves.
unnecessary flashbacks, because they did it twice.
I
Oh,
only
they
saw
did
the
it
one.
I only
Yeah,
see
because the first time they did it was with the old guy, because he didn't say it initially when he was
that's
talking
right,
with Val
when he's
Kilmer about
dying.
with like.
When he's dying,
maybe,
he's talking
maybe
about
I'll pick up
God.
a rock
Oh
and
my
underneath
God.
it it'll say "Made by God."
Yeah.
Oh my god.
that's-
They think the audience is stupid.
Yeah,
do.
and they,
That was like 10
yes,
minutes before.
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
like,
and
holy
they
shit.
end up showing the same footage before too with it.
Yeah, the same footage.
So they
Well, that's
don't.
the thing, is
they
they-
don't.
they-
They don't like
in
they
that
cut like the first 10 seconds of their discussion, but then they show all this footage we've already seen, and then get to that. Fucking,
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Out of the two flashbacks, because you're right, there were at least two. There could have been another one we missed. We were probably eye rolling into our fucking brains trying to find a
Yes.
story. But yes, that moment, the flashback, at least that flashback, they show us something that we've seen. Okay, that's how a flashback typically works, unless it's going to add to the plot, unless it's going to add to events that are going to happen in the future. That's when you have a flashback, right?
Right.
And so then we have a flashback with Val and Carrie where they're going to kiss, where they're all at, they're having that little drinking get together there right before they go onto Mars. And they flash back to a moment where they almost kissed. And that never even fucking happened. We never saw it, so the
Right.
flashback means fucking nothing.
yeah.
No,
Show that
Right.
moment.
Yeah.
That way, whenever they're talking at the very end, oh, I might not get to see you, kind of thing. It's like, it's more emotional. I'm not
No,
going
right.
to cry because the movie sucks, but at least that's how you work that.
No, for real. The opening, really quick, I know we're tangent. On the opening, they established sexual tension between Val Kilmer and Carrie-Anne Moss. And then they have one scene that establishes that they might be, they're probably going to get
They
together.
might flirtate.
And then later on, after all the disaster happens, Carrie-Anne Moss flashes back, just like James had said. So right when they flash back, they show a scene that happened earlier that they didn't show at the beginning.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which is fucking stupid.
Yeah,
And they probably fucked up, and they...
Yeah, but that's what I was saying with the older actor. How can I not remember Terrence? I can never remember his last name.
Stamp, I want to say.
Yes, Terrence Stamp.
Yeah.
So they showed they
Where's our
didn't show
producer?
that discussion at all. Like they showed the beginning part of the scene, but they didn't specifically show the lines of dialogue where he's like, well, maybe God, it'll say underneath the rock, made by God.
Yeah.
That part was exclusively to the flashback.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
Like so they
Oh my
showed you
God.
they showed you footage you've already seen 10 minutes earlier, and then they add that one little
last
last
sentence
little
of
sentence.
their-
They're like,
their
aren't we
conversation."
clever? Aren't we clever, guys?
Yeah.
well, nonetheless,
Right.
Red Planet, big budget,
Terrible
total
execution.
blockbuster. Just.
Oh, but
just-
you were talking about your pick.
Oh, I was just saying Black. I said that
Oh,
Black
nice.
Cobra. I was
Yeah,
just going back into it, like as to reasons why. Like we had Black Cobra, which was
Right.
small budget, and
Right, let's go again.
What's
Guys, now
happening?
take a fucking
Christian.
minute. Let's go again.
Christian,
whoa,
settle
calm
down.
down.
You fucking
Christian.
walking in.
What?
Whoa.
No.
It's not that big of a deal.
Can I have
is
Tom
happening?
put this
We'll
on,
just-
please?
James, here, give me a sec here. Leave.
Every time
James, you were
Christian
saying-
just, I know he comes in
Jesus
a
fucking
drunk
Christ.
stamp, just
Why-
stomping around the house.
Why do you let him crash on your couch all the time?
You know, seriously, like I don't mean to be that
He
guy.
makes the
but
best
why do you let him
tiramisu.
do
How
that?
do you kick out the best tiramisu? So stupid. What? What?
We're 5-year-olds. Dun, 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 dun.
My balls are dropping. Okay, so now that we've talked about it, this week's Best Picture for Shit Show Showdown, I want to touch on one movie that Rachel and I watched earlier this week, and that's AI,
You watched AI?
Artificial
The
Intelligence.
Will Smith movie? Oh no.
No, that's
iRobot.
You watched AI last week?
No, this week, just the other night.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn,
I just want to talk briefly on it
Okay.
because it's directed by Steven Spielberg, and rarely does he go wrong. This movie was originally going to be made by Stanley Kubrick. It was his.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So
What the
I
fuck?
forgot. I forget. Please check my.
You
Please
had
check my facts.
attention.
Now you
I
have
had
my curiosity.
curiosity.
See, you see the part of the skull that has some. He's just going on about parts of the skull that makes him
Do you have
submissive.
any? Sorry to interrupt. Do you have any water?
No, it's out.
Oh shit.
Here,
like, really
lean your head back.
thirsty.
I'll spit in your mouth.
Okay. Oh, why did I agree to this?
I shot a couple spits. That way you'd have a chance to catch at least one. Okay, so
Be right back.
So yeah, absolutely. So AI, it stars Haley Joel Osment as a artificial being. He's a robot, obviously, and he is basically
Hey robot.
Huh?
Hey robot.
Hey robot. I robot. Solemnly swear. No, but Josh just goes walking into the studio laughing. Okay, so originally I had heard that Stanley Kubrick was going to make this film, and it was going to be one of the ones that he made after Eyes Wide Shut, but ended up dying, obviously. And so
Rest in peace.
Steven Spielberg thought that he would help with the
R.I.P.
vision of it, and thought that he could create the film. And so when I was watching it, I saw this movie a lot when I was a kid, and I really fucking enjoyed it. I think the world is really cool. All the world building, all the small details within the city, the characters, and the emotions that the human characters play with AI is just... It's very thought-provoking as far as the ethics and morals of the movie and the story itself, where this woman takes on a child, an artificial child, and the child imprints its love on the mother, but then her real son that was going to die, and the Haley Joel Osment was replacing, ends up living, and so
Okay,
she
I
basically
remember
she
this
basically
movie now.
takes
I didn't
Haley.
see it, but I do remember.
She takes Haley Joel Osment out to the forest, basically like, I don't love you anymore. You know, like you're throwing a rock at your dog to like run off and like just be free. But it's like this AI has imprinted its love. They've given an AI the ability to love and attach and become, you know,
The
infatuated.
ability to feel.
We've made it feel. Does it have a soul? So, but that's the whole plot of the movie is like, can you teach AI to love man? And if so, can you teach man to love AI? And that's the whole ethical thing. Like, what if you make something love you that cannot be unwritten and then you don't love it anymore. And so she kind of kicks it out into the wilderness, and she's like, sorry I didn't tell you about the world. And then she gets in whatever car, drives off. And then he meets Hugh, God, what's his name? I'll think of it here in a second. Meets a sex robot, and they basically companion one another as they try to survive, because there's like humans that take up robots and stuff and then destroy them in like a monster truck kind of rally thing, you know, where they're doing violent things to this AI and shit. And I thought it was
cool. I've never seen it, but
the
it
movie
sounds really interesting.
It sounds so fucking interesting. And when I was watching it, I was like, oh, this is a Steven Spielberg movie. And never have I felt like that in my life. Never have I
was
been
it bad?
It wasn't that it was bad. The tone was off. If you think of things like Eyes Wide Shut and The Shining, 2001: Space Odyssey, they're very deep in whatever voice Kubrick is trying to say with each film. It's heard, and if it's not heard, or if it's heard, it's more than likely misunderstood with the theories of The Shining. You know, everybody's theory on what The Shining is actually about. Yeah, it's like, that's good art. And so I could see Kubrick taking this film AI and turning it into this where you watch the movie and you feel like a piece of shit for being human. You know what I mean? It would make you question your own
really
existence.
Deep.
You know, very thought provoking. And this was just like awing, like, hey, let's try to make it, let's put walkie-talkies in all the hands that have guns. Like, do you know what I mean with E.T.?
Yeah.
People that don't know, when E.T. was re-released for its special edition, they replaced all the guns that the FBI agents had. They replaced them with radios. Do not fucking do that. That adds to the emotional, or the jeopardy, as it were, to the kids. Yeah. It adds more fear. It's like, oh my God, the kids are going to get shot. Because, you know, that's how man reacts. When you add walkie-talkies, they're not going to just club them. Nail the kid in the E.T. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's, so it's like, Steven became a father around that time.
Exactly.
So he wanted to make it more family-friendly.
And so this has that father element where it's like he's wanting a mother, and then Jude Law is the sex bot. Thank you, brain. Jude Law is the sex bot, and he does a phenomenal job. He's like 29 or something when this movie came out.
At having sex with people?
Yes, he's so good, in fact,
Jude
that
Law
one
is
of the
great
husbands...
at the sex.
Right.
He's so good, in fact...
He's a robot, so...
He's so
I'm
good
just saying in general, just Jude Law. And the sex, top notch.
But he's so good.
He's so good, in fact, that one of the clients' husband kills her. So, like, he meets one of his clients, and he's like, oh, you're crying. And it's actually blood. And the husband had fucking, like, shot her to death in the hotel. And it's all grimly lit and shit, and neon buzzing through the windows.
Yeah,
it's so beautiful.
Like,
and
stop
it's like,
successfully bringing my wife to orgasm. Right.
Exactly,
Right. So
yeah.
shoots him. Yeah.
I just wish, when I saw it, and I was like, it says a Steven Spielberg / Stanley Kubrick film.
Is that what it actually says?
That's what the credit says.
So how far did he get into the production?
I think it was just like probably just the notion of like, this is what I want to do next. Like, this is a big idea. He probably spoke about it. You know, there's a good chance.
Not too far. He probably started pre-production. Maybe I'm completely guessing.
No, I don't think pre-production at all.
Nothing.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I think I could be wrong though. I could be completely wrong. I don't think it was that far in though. And but Steven Spielberg wanted to help make Stanley Kubrick's vision come to life. There's a good chance it could have been pre-production.
Okay.
So, but it had that Steven Spielberg whimsical, you know, like boy flying over the moon kind of feel to it. And
Hollywood
like,
stuff.
I really wanted it to be sad, like really fucking dark and depressing. And it was. Do not get me wrong. It is incredibly sad. Haley Joel Osment, can I spoil it? Or
yeah.
Okay.
I'm kind of intrigued.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, wait. Yeah, maybe
all right,
I
won't spoil it. I won't spoil it at all. But
okay.
like his love for her never ends. And of course, in the beginning, her love for him ends, and it's very sad. But throughout the movie,
truly heartbreaking.
Throughout the movie, as time passes, you're just like, wow, like this boy is forever searching for the mom that does not want him.
Right. Well, I mean, that by itself is pretty funny. if you think about it,
it's hilarious.
Yeah.
But no, that was a movie that I watched recently, and it's one that I revisited, and I watched it with a more critical eye. And I could tell that the tone was definitely off compared to something
interesting. Yeah.
Both masterful directors drive completely different vehicles when they're making films, and when you collaborate together,
yeah,
in which one is passed away and one of them is taking up the mantle, that tone definitely changes. Like
Right.
this, if Stanley Kubrick was the only name on this, tonally different from anything else that he's done.
Also, could you imagine? I mean, do they even live near each other? How could they carpool? Of course, they have to take different vehicles.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Fuck y'all both.
Like,
So what did y'all see recently? Like, I want to talk more than just Cinema Shat or
shit.
showdown films.
let me think here. Here, John, you go ahead. I have to think about what I saw recently. I completely forgot.
Oh, I also
I
saw
started-
Brightburn.
I started to rewatch a little bit of Paranoia Agent. It's a anime by Satoshi Kon. He's he did Paprika, which is the film that inspired Inception.
Oh, okay.
And that one I posted the other day, Perfect Blue or whatever it is, the shit you were like, I need to see this.
Oh
That's
yeah,
also
the
Satoshi
visuals
Kon.
look stunning. Yeah.
He's a phenomenal director. So Paranoia Agent it takes place where there is this kid going around like attacking people with a baseball bat on roller skates, and it's told from the perspective of I think 12 different people, and each episode variance is based off of each person's personal like mental anxieties or fucked upness in their head.
Cool.
So like you have this like the lady that animated this character, and she's feeling like she's never going to live up to being able to recreate another character like that, but the boss is demanding that she makes more characters.
Oh wow. It's trying
And so
being
the-
forced to capture lightning in a bottle.
again,
or whatever.
and so the character that she caught lightning in a bottle with is like talking to her, so she has like schizophrenic nature. And then you have like the kid who's the kid who's the suspected little slugger, who's been the person attacking people, feels like he's in this like adventure thing where he's in this like fantastical world where he's this white knight saving everything, when
Tight.
he's just fucking knocking people out. And it's just told from all these different perspectives, and it's a fucking masterpiece. Like it's a masterpiece. I love that show so much.
Sorry, I was lost in thought. It's a show?
Yeah, it's a 12 episode.
Apologies.
It's a 12 episode show.
I need to
Okay,
watch
cool.
that anime
Yeah.
that you let me borrow. I need to get that
Steins
watched.
Gate. So good.
Yeah.
Nice. That sounds cool.
Yeah,
He's on
anything-
roller skates.
Yeah, he's got
that's
golden
fucking
roller
cool.
skates and a golden baseball bat.
It's really
And
odd.
and the
Oh, that's
English,
so
the English
Warriors to
version
me.
is Little Slugger.
Yeah, it sounds like
He-
Warriors.
I can definitely see some influence in this. But yeah, it's the English is Little Slugger, and Shonen Bat is just for like Bat Kid is what it means essentially.
Gotcha.
But yeah, no, just the way that it analyzes the human psyche, and how each episode is so different from one another but still intertwined so well. It's a phenomenal show.
Nice.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's it
like I said,
called?
Paranoia Agent.
Paranoia.
And
Agent.
anything by that guy, the original, because the guy who did the original script and directed it, the brainchild behind it, anything by Satoshi Kon is fucking gold.
Really? Nice.
Absolute gold. Like I said, Paprika, like that is the inspiration for Inception. People are like, they saw the animated film and they're like, we need to make a Hollywood version of this.
No
Wow.
shit.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I know nothing about anime. I'd like a few things, but
Nah, for sure.
Amy.
I used to be way too into it. Now I only try and get into like the finer art anime instead of like
Nice.
the trash
yeah,
too.
Bleach.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
All right,
I
what'd
we
you think
have
of?
to close off here in a bit. I have to get out of here.
Yeah,
but
it's
really
getting
quick,
late.
I watched Lost in La Mancha,
Yeah.
which is have you seen that?
No,
Oh,
weren't
okay.
you were telling us about it before we started, right?
Oh, I don't think so. It was Terry Gilliam, who made Brazil and a bunch of other movies, has been trying to make Don Quixote.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's been trying to make it.
I
for
have seen
literally
that documentary.
Like 25 years.
That's a great documentary.
You've seen that?
Yes,
okay,
I have.
great.
We had to watch it in film school.
Right. Okay. Right. Of course. So I don't remember it from film school, but I watched it the other night, and yeah, it's brilliant.
Fucking monsoon season taking out
Oh
their
my
set.
god!
Yeah.
Like it's up there with the Apocalypse Now shoot, and Fitzcarraldo shoot as far as difficult shoots go.
Well, fill people in. Like this is one of those movies that's cursed.
Oh,
You know what I
totally.
mean?
Yeah. So, what's his name? Orson Welles. He was trying to make a Don Quixote film for like almost the same amount of time, like 20 years. He's trying to make it. Like he couldn't find people to fund it for him, so he was actually starring in roles to get money because it was his dream. He wanted to make a Don Quixote film, and but he couldn't get it made. And he shot like I think it was like 45 minutes of footage, and was done. And his lead actor dies in the Orson Welles movie. That's back in the day. And then of course Orson Welles he ends up dying without finishing it. So Terry Gilliam, really quick, the Don Quixote story is this old man who loves adventure books. So he dons his own makeshift armor to go adventuring, and then he's delusional. So he sees windmills and thinks they're giants, and he fights the windmills.
Doesn't he think? But it turns out that the windmills are giants, right? Isn't that the thing in the end?
No, they end up they're actual windmills. He's
Really? Oh, okay. I thought
yeah,
there was
yeah.
a twist in the story into which like he wasn't.
There might be a
completely
version where
insane.
there is a twist, but no, the original story he's
That's
fighting
sweet.
windmills. Which,
Nice.
So it's like a madcap comedy,
Right.
but it's a classic story. Terry Gilliam's been wanting to make this movie and it's perfect for him. Have you seen Brazil? Like his style is so out there, so it's perfect for him.
I'm trying to think what I have seen of Terry Gilliam.
He
did 12 Monkeys, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't care for 12 Monkeys, but
really,
yeah, but I love Terry Gilliam. But yeah, so they go to shoot, and they set it up in the movie so well because they're talking about what they had to do to get funding, and the work their lead actor is French, so he spent 7 months learning English just for the movie, and so so everyone shows up there except for the lead actor. First day of shooting, no lead actor, so because he has this like stomach problem, and so they wait a week. He finally shows up, and they're getting ready to shoot. They go out into the middle of the desert, and they start shooting. And then the actors can't remember what they were supposed to do, like in the scene. And Terry Gilliam's starting to lose it, right? Cause it's like
this
you
is early
prepare
on.
for this shit, yeah, right, early on, yeah. And then they find out that
It's a great documentary.
It's
on,
really
like,
good, yeah.
how your whole fucking process can just fall out with.
Yeah,
even
like,
however much control you have, it's just gonna fall apart. If
No,
it's going
for
to fall
real,
apart,
yeah.
it will.
They find out they're shooting. They find out they're shooting next to a military base, so the sound's all fucked up because these planes keep taking off and landing, and then like the whole production gets flooded, gets flash flooded because they're shooting in an arroyo. So it's like
it literally took out all the equipment.
All their props are floating
Feels
down.
bad.
It's
A
one of the
nightmare.
saddest movies I've ever seen, and then yeah, just watch the movie. It gets worse.
Yeah, I'll check
It's-
it out.
it's a
Lost
real
in La
fascinating
Mancha.
movie.
Sounds
But
fascinating.
he's finally finished it, and it stars Adam Driver.
He's finished it like 2 years ago.
Oh.
Oh,
and
really?
he-
It's
yeah,
hitting
I
the
think
circuit
so,
right now.
right?
It's hitting the circuit right now.
He completely reshot the whole thing. Like none of this footage from La Mancha was even used.
Well, so it
Yeah.
has a good ending.
Yeah, like 10 years later, he finished it.
Well, guys, I'm a little beat.
I'm pooped. Yeah, let's get out of
this
here.
is great.
Yeah.
John, Josh, I want to thank you guys so much for joining me in the studio. This is a treat every week we do it. Shout out to everybody else that listens to us.
Yes,
and,
thank you for listening to us. We love
supports
you.
us. Shout out to all the other members of Shit Show Showdown. And then, of course, my brother who was here for 2 weeks and got
Hell
the feature
yeah!
in the
Shout out
podcast.
Gray.
We
Yeah, good
I love you,
chilling,
man.
man.
I
That was
love you,
fun.
man. So yeah, this is Cinema Shat, our Shat cast, brought to you every Thursday, where we talk about this week's Shit Show Showdown, the shit show that is our lives, and literally whatever else the fuck we want to talk about.
And just because we got it, let's put a couple plugs in there.
yeah,
Everything at Alien Art School. So
Everything.
That's Reddit r/Alien Art School. Facebook is it's Alien Art School is
It's
the
something.
URL, but it's still shit show.
it's something.
Yep.
We even have toilet
We
paper
got
that
Twitter,
says
we got Instagram.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it has
We got
my
toilet,
face.
We got toilet paper that says Alien Art School on the other side is Josh's face. Yes.
Yeah, so use that to
So-
wipe your ass.
Yeah, no, for real.
Well, guys,
It's not a metaphor. It's just toilet paper. Use it.
you don't have to get upset. We know you're not playing.
Yeah, man. All right. Well, let's just end the show. Whatever.
Okay.
Like,
Well, I'm James.
I am John.
I'm one sec.
Leaving.
I'm sending a tweet. I'm Jash with an A.
Later, guys.